There's people that don't even think like you. My wife doesn't even think like you at all. And that's fine. Like people think differently, but I think there's places in the world for people like you that think that way, right?
Yeah, they're just like,
and if you think that way, do it. Stop suppressing your feelings, doing the thing you hate every single day. Go follow your heart and your gut and do the things you should do.
Yeah.
Because once you start doing it, life just opens up and it's so happy.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the thing you love.
You're right.
I had no idea how passionate I was about making products for people, shipping them, and like selling them and watching numbers go up.
Yeah.
No idea, but I just knew I enjoyed like helping people out, and that was the path I took.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by LarKlean. A while ago, my wife and I decided that we were going to permanently switch to solutions to clean our house that were safe to use around our kids and our pets. And LarKlean offers exactly that. They're powerful enough to be used in a medical setting and safe enough to be used around kids. In fact, there's no bleach, no alcohol, and it still kills 99% of germs. So if you're listening to this podcast and you want to give it a try, head over to larklean.com and use code Thinking10 at checkout to save 10% off your order. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by SRanker Marketing, because in a world where SEO can feel so overwhelming, you need an effortless way to attract more customers. You need it to be budget friendly, and you need clear reporting. That's all that SRanker Marketing does for you. In fact, they can do it in as little as 3 months. So head over to SRanker.com, check out my homies over there, get involved with their program, especially if you're a local business. Remember, the best way to support this podcast is by supporting our sponsors. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, cool.
Let's go.
Kamden, is this number 3, dude?
2.
2?
Yep.
The last time we went a deep dive on NFTs.
Yep. NFTs and a lot of random stuff. We're back though.
That was so fun.
That was a long time ago. It was 2 years ago, probably. No. It's probably
maybe
a year
and a half.
Year and a half ago.
Year and a half. And you know what's funny is I met you at a networking event that I was invited to by someone that I'm working with right now. Her name's Hillary Russell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Was it at Connect Share?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's when I really got into
we met. Oh, yeah. I totally remember that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We sat at the same table. Isn't that so wild, dude?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then that was when I got introduced to all the networking. And then we went to a couple events after that. But I want to just dive right into the whole e-commerce thing, because I was just on a little kick where, it's not software anymore. It's not really services anymore. Like the coaching thing has kind of died down. Like it's really now like people want a physical product in their hands, and that's what they want to pay for. Mm-hmm. And so e-commerce is just blowing up. I think
a big thing is because, like I was just telling you before we started, everyone has realized that they can't rely on their normal day-to-day job anymore.
Right. Well, and even how customers are buying, dude. Like they don't want to buy. It's like, I don't want to buy a service anymore. I want to buy something that you actually give me. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's been good. I mean, every month we've been growing. It's been good to see people start to recognize that they can control their own financial freedom, and they can start, playing in the realms of being their own entrepreneur, their own boss, where people thought before, I don't know, I don't have connections to get to China, or I don't know how to manufacture or source that product or market it once I get it here.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's cool. A lot of people are getting into it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Big.
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about, about our friendship is like just the whole idea that you can really like, oh man, that it's so much easier than you think. Like as we were talking about, right? Like you're like, it's actually a lot easier than people think to start a brand like this. Mm-hmm. And there's so much need for it. Now, let's kind of dive into what I like to do is like go into like the objections kind of like right away. So like in the world out there, like some people might say it's too saturated. Everybody sells hats. Everybody sells this. Like, how do you kind of overcome that in your day-to-day interaction?
I would say, I don't know, the objections of like the money side. Is that what you're saying? Like,
or just like, I don't know if I want to start a brand. I mean, most people, when they come to you, they know they want to start a brand, but how would you answer that if somebody was like, I don't know if I want to start one, maybe there's just too many people in there or something like that?
Yeah. Most of the time people will come in and say that they already have a general idea. And no, I'd say 50-50. They either have an idea, or the other side, they have money and they're like, I just know I want to get in this industry, and we can help both. The one side that has the money is the easier one to work with, usually, and I'll talk about why. The one with the money that just invest in it initially, we go do the research for them, and we tell them what products are going to work and which ones have the most opportunity for success, right? Maybe it be example, pizza cutter is is killing it online right now in monthly sales. But what we see on the 1-star reviews of the top seller is the diameter of the wheel is too small. And as they cut the pizza, it's taking toppings off. So we look at that and we go, oh, shoot, well, let's increase the diameter. We'll do the exact same pizza cutter, make it a little bit nicer, dishwasher, friendly. And then we'll go ahead and launch that one, which we've done. And it's actually killing it right now. So that's a perfect example of it. Now, the opposite side of the investor, you're coming to me and you're saying, hey, I want to sell. Can you help me? And I want to utilize your services. I have an idea. I have glasses that I want to sell for or whatever. Right? Let's just say glasses.
Let's do my idea. I want to sell.
Is that okay to share it?
Yeah,
I
big
didn't
effing sunglasses.
Okay, so BFG glasses or BFG, just wider frames essentially. So for bigger heads, you would come to me and you would say, hey, I've already done my target audience research. I just need these sourced, right? Conveniently, I already know 2 factories that do sunglasses. So I just got to go to them and say, hey, here's the specs. I need 155 millimeter, from temple to temple. Let's go get this done. They give me an MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity. And then we go to town and make it for you, ship it over, put it in my 3PL or my warehouse, and we do it all. Market it, manufacture it.
Dude, that's wild, man. Yeah. And why do you think, I think on the one hand, absolutely, you're right. But why e-commerce specifically? Like, why products? Because we were talking about this before, but I just kind of wanted to get it out there in the open about like why somebody wouldn't do software, why somebody wouldn't, try to do some service. Like, why would they go e-com, maybe DTC?
I've done software, and it's expensive. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. It's terrible.
Development, an average salary, I think, for a developer, last time I checked, was like $180,000 a year. Developers are wild, pricey. And so if you're spending 12 months developing a very basic foundational software, which, by the way, that's short, 12 months to build software, that's expensive. Even if you outsourced it into Cuba or somewhere else where I know Cuba does good work, or Venezuela, they've got really good developers, it's still expensive.
Yeah.
So I think people are shifting over because it's an easier barrier to entry for products. You're spending money on something that people need and want. And
yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. You own a business, and it's fun to control like your income and not have someone else, dictate that.
And it's the old school. I think this is what my favorite thing is people kind of got away from the idea of like, I don't know, just it's I'm buying something for X, selling it for X, and everybody's happy. And I don't know why some people that gets a bad rap, like as far as like buying sunglasses for $5 and selling them for $20 or whatever, right? Like, it's just wild.
Capitalism.
How like, yeah. Well, no, but you got to get it past your head. I don't know. I just told this story, but I tell it all the time. Like when I was in high school, I used to just sell candy bars. Like I knew that my school was selling them for way too much, and I knew that if I could buy them I could buy them for cheaper and sell them for less than what they were and still make money. And I won in my senior, and I did stuff like that all the time. And in my senior year, I won the most likely to be a con artist award because like in the culture, it's like, oh, I know you bought that for $1. Why are you selling it for $3? It's like, well, because that's life, dude.
How funny is it they call you a con? How old was this? Junior high or high school?
No, high school.
High school.
Yeah. I was like 18, and I was like, wait.
But you've had an entrepreneurial brain since the beginning, so that's what that means. That's cool. There's people that don't even think like you. My wife doesn't even think like you at all, and that's fine. Like people think differently, but I think there's places in the world for people like you that think that way, right?
Yeah, they're just like.
And if you think that way, do it. Stop suppressing your feelings, doing the thing you hate every single day. Go follow your heart and your gut, and do the things you should do.
Yeah.
Because once you start doing it, life just opens up, and it's so happy.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the thing you love.
You're right.
I had no idea how passionate I was about making products for people, shipping them, and like selling them, and watching numbers go up.
Yeah.
No idea, but I just knew I enjoyed like helping people out, and that was the path I took. So
yeah, dude, and you were on my podcast like we were talking about a long time ago. So we've got quite a few new listeners. How did you get into the e-commerce world, Amazon FBA, all of that kind of sourcing and stuff like that?
I was handed kind of a weird opportunity to do similar stuff at a company, and just by working there for a short period of time, realized that I had a skill that I didn't feel like I needed someone else for. And I don't mean that in like a narcissistic way.
Yeah.
I just meant like, I really think I can do this myself, and I can change a lot of things that I don't need to get permission on, and I can make this thing big. And so I ended up leaving them and moving on to this new gig. And from sourcing or from helping people market, it turned to, hey, let's, we're really good at that. We've got enough money to kind of branch out and hire new employees. Let's start doing sourcing now. We started doing that. And we did it really good from the beginning. And then we were like, hey, well, everyone keeps running into this issue of like, where are we going to ship or where are we going to get our logistics covered? Let's go get a warehouse. So we got a warehouse. So now we're like slowly expanding.
Yeah.
Even now we can get products into grocery stores. Like we have a guy on our team that's been doing it for 20 years and he now works for us to get it into Costco and Walmart and Target and Whole Foods, wherever, your product needs to go, Dick's Sporting Goods, whatever.
Yeah.
So we've like horizontally integrated, and I didn't even intend to do that early on. I just had a passion for to see a product sell and to watch the end consumer enjoy what they purchased. Like,
Well, and what's cool about this too, by the way, is like a lot of people talk about scale, right? Like economies of scale. And one thing that I learned is there's another part of that, which is there's a different one that you tapped into that not a lot of people realize you can do. With scale is up, right? So like, how can I use the same my fixed cost to make more money to like scale and make more revenue, and you're going up. But there's that economy of scope that it's like, well, I don't need I don't basically. I don't need to go up. I can go, I can buy the warehouse.
Yes, yeah. So I horizontally, I just integrated across the board. So that way, for 3 different services, they pay 3 different.
Which is amazing.
Different companies, but I own all of them. So if you want to, you can just have individual services, or you can have them all. And I totally believe in the VIP package. That's just who I am. If I see 3 options and VIP is one, I get suckered to that every time. Yeah. But that's how I've turned my business. Is like, I want it white glove for you. So you come and you pay the money. I will do everything for you. You sit back and just relax, and you'll get update emails, and I'll do it all. You don't have to worry about anything. So. But because that's my personality. And so I've trained my team. We have internal processes all based on that.
Wow, dude. And where did what was the journey like for you, coming out with rolling out those processes? Like, how did you learn that?
We were awful. We were so bad in the beginning.
You're like, dude, we got to fix it.
I really feel so bad for my first customers because it's any business, right? You don't know what you're doing. Of course, you got growing pains. You got employees that you can... the resume says so much, but then you find out later it was a lie, right? That was personally, that's what happened to me. Yeah. So you grow and you learn, but I don't know. I think you just grow, and you just, along the way, you get better at what you're doing. So
yeah, I love that, dude. What's been one of the most favorite products that you've been able to kind of help source and develop?
Products that I've had source and develop. We're in the process right now of sourcing some organic stuff, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah. Just being able to go down the lines of like highly certified, like more paperwork kind of products, not just the easy get on Alibaba white label, like that stuff. That's And side note, we don't do that. It's not like that. We have relationships with these people and the warehouses in China. But I don't know. I really like a couple projects we're working on right now. I can't talk about it right now for those, but they're organic and they're like super great products, like really cool life-changing products. Yeah. One of which is mushrooms, but not psychedelics.
Oh, so but like nootropics. Yeah.
Which, by the way, awesome. I take those. Lion's mane, reishi, like all those. They're fabulous. Yeah. Fabulous. So it's just a boom. There's a new boom in that area. Even though it's competitive, if you're doing it right and you have organic and you have organic capsules and all that stuff, that's what you need if you're going to take it. Wow, dude. And this is where you and I really hit it off at talking, is like just kind of that other side of business, right? Like the mindset and the things that you do to kind of like stay an entrepreneur, right? Instead of like becoming one. It's like getting your mind right, dude. Because you can get in the weeds and you can get down.
For sure.
Being an entrepreneur, you have freaking peaks and you have freaking valleys. Like some days you are the most depressed person, and then the same day it could be like, oh shoot, that was bad news that I read that message wrong and they're actually not canceling or whatever, and now it's a great day. Like I talk to entrepreneurs all the time and they go through that kind of stuff, and if you're an entrepreneur listening, like that's normal. It's completely normal, at least for me and for whoever I've talked to. It's normal, but you got to keep your mind right to be able to keep always thinking forward, or else you're not an entrepreneur. Right. In my opinion. Right.
No, and it's wild because one of my hot takes in sales is like philosophy over psychology. Like, because it's easy and I've read all the psychology books and it's whatever, but like staying in the game, like keeping your head on, and like even if you go through that in your head, like the valleys, like like staying on the outside, just being like, hold on, I just got to wait for a second
Breathe.
for this all to come in.
Yeah. Or
And get
my
there,
wife
dude.
is huge at helping me out and staying grounded. Like I literally will wake up every morning, take my shoes off, bare feet, and I stand on my grass and I go to my garden. Sounds weird. That's just what works for me, right?
Yeah.
And I think every person that owns a business needs to find what helps them. I'm not saying like go out and do if you want to go do drugs, do that. But I think there's better. I think there's better holistic ways that you can manage stress levels, because it's a stressful thing. It really is. You're managing not only the quality of customer service, but you're also managing the quality of the happiness of your employees.
Yeah.
And your customers, and there's so many variables, and it's all on you. And if you don't care, you're a narcissist. And if you do care, you're normal.
Yeah.
But there's ways around like trying to manage that, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, but I'm trying.
Right. But what are some ways that you like?
That I like to manage it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think grounding, yoga, breathing. I have to have like my time. So whether it be like poker night or something, which is tonight, baby, let's go.
Let's go.
Poker. I enjoy playing pickleball, softball, golf, dude. I've started golfing. I'll go alone. I don't even care. I'll meet someone brand new.
Yeah.
I'll sign up as a single, network with someone on the golf course. I've met some great people. Yeah,
dude, that's legit. We gotta go golfing, by the way.
Let's do it. But I don't know. I like to just de-stress that way. But like once again, it's just individualized.
Yeah. What are some of the things like? I know we met through networking. I don't think I've ever been to more networking events with someone else but you, and it's been a long time since we've even went.
A lot of networking. Yeah,
dude. What do you like to do as far as networking? Like, how do you like to approach that whole situation?
How I approach networking is friends first. That's always what I do.
Yeah.
If I go to a networking event, like I did today at Topgolf, we had a group that went together there. It's really cool when I walk in and I see 10 people where 2 years ago I didn't know anybody, and they're all friends. They're all my good friends.
Yeah.
And because I don't think business first. I think friends first. Like you. I mean, have we ever talked to like doing business other than maybe today?
No, maybe. I think maybe when I sold Dirty Dough, we had talked about it briefly, but then I was like, whatever.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we went out and we would eat, we hang out. Like that's how I treat it, because I think if you're truly networking, you're getting to know the person. Once that trust and emotion is there, then stuff follows. But you got to trust the person you're working with.
You got to trust them, and especially when you're dealing with like big money, you got to be like, dude, it's so hard to not know them and not know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Or if they have your best interests or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But networking, I'll do that probably 2 times a week. Back in the day, it was like probably 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, dude, when we were,
But now, back in the day.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I've got enough contacts and I know enough people that I'm a text away from pretty much anything I might need. If I need a contact to insurance or, payment processing on my website or whatever.
Yeah.
I know them now,
there.
so I don't really need to get into it unless I'm like, right now hey, if anyone's listening, this is actually be a good, I need someone in the FDA realms to pass off a product in the FDA world.
Oh, yeah.
So if anyone has that connection, I'll pay you big finder's fee bucks for that. And then, number 2, any people like in the gun world, I've got a new gun product that we're manufacturing that's patented,
cool,
which
dude.
is I'm excited about. So.
That's cool. Do you get into a lot of like patents and stuff like that?
I'm starting to. Yeah, the ring. I wish I would have brought it, but it's a new patented ring that we've designed that you wear on your trigger finger, and this is my first patent that we're going to be running with. But it helps you isolate your muscle on your trigger finger, so when you pull the trigger, you only use the tip of your finger. That is standard best practice when aiming and firing a firearm.
Yeah.
Most people, and when I say most, like 95% of people, when they pull it, they use their entire finger, which causes inevitably the gun barrel to drop and your spread is all over the place. So with our product, it trains that void between the grip of the gun and your finger to just use the tip so your barrel doesn't drop and your spread decreases and you have better accuracy.
Dude, because of
because of that ring. And so all you got to do, and you can even dry fire. You don't even have to go out. You just dry fire and practice with the tip at your desk or whatever without a magazine in there.
Yeah, just to train your finger.
Yep.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah. So we're going to TriggerCon in September in Kansas, and then we've got a
TriggerCon.
TriggerCon. Go figure, right? I had no idea this world. I didn't know. I appreciate gun. I'm not like this big gun guy.
Right.
I have guns. I have plenty. But I don't know what happened. We've got another guy that reached out to us. He makes guns for the Israeli army.
Whoa.
Can't disclose his name because he's got that stuff all locked. I can't even go to his warehouse. He won't let us go there. We made it a different location, but he has a military contract and wants to potentially piggyback our product with his product that they're already buying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Dude, that's wild.
So I'm excited.
You know what's cool about just the e-com world is like you can bring that to life. Like our good friend Rob. you know, with washi.
Yeah, toilet seats. Yeah,
It's like, dude, that it's a great. First of all, it's an amazing invention. He's got his own patents on that, and it's just like actually solves a real need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like saw it at the Delta Sky Lounge.
Yep.
Because he's in there.
Oh, was it there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He's in there, dude.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That's sweet.
But so shout out to Rob for doing that. But it's so cool to just be able to see that your product is like helping somebody.
That gives you purpose. I feel like the ones that are like the umbrella and the margarita drink. It's like, dude, really, you just made a ton of money by making a little umbrella.
Yeah,
that's cool. But do you really feel good about that? I feel
that
good. I feel good if I can like change people, right? And that's why my end goal is philanthropy and like humanitarian work.
Yeah,
that's where I'm headed. After I'm done with all this, I'll sell off, and then I just want to help people.
Yeah.
I get the most joy from that.
What do you like? What are some of those philanthropic goals, like specifically?
So I'm doing that right now too.
You're all over the place.
My wife hates it. I'm so busy.
Yeah.
So I'm sourcing right now cocoa beans because of all these operations, the horizontally integrated stuff, right, and the connections I've made. So much comes to my doorstep now with like opportunities, and a couple chocolate factories came to us and they said, "Hey, do you source cocoa beans?" I'm like, "Dude, this is right up my alley. Probably.
Yeah.
Let me look into it."
Yeah.
Next week, I'm eating lunch and I get approached by a dude from Ivory Coast, and he's like, "Hi, are you Kamden?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You put on that startup con in a UVU last year," which, by the way, we did like a startup conference just for the listeners, for entrepreneurs and stuff like that. I was like, "Yeah, were you there?" He's like, "Yeah, I loved it. I've been meaning to talk to you, but you left early. I wanted to talk to you about this." We have a nonprofit called Bridges Africa, and what we do is we help the cocoa bean, the cacao industry, all the farmers, grow their bean properly and then sell it to distributors, so that way they can actually get their beans done correctly, organically or non, and make their beans and chocolate and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, there might be something here. So we started talking, and it looks like I might be able to turn a nonprofit opportunity into helping the community in the Ivory Coast build their farms correctly to then source products out and still build the community, give them jobs and work and a better product, while simultaneously the businesses are getting their products sourced
dude.
For them.
Yeah.
So this was Saturday last week. 2 people from Ivory Coast flew in, met at the chocolate factory. We met there at 9 a.m. and things are it's going. So
dude, that's
I'm excited,
stellar, bro.
because what I want to do is I just want to travel and do that. I just want to help people.
Yeah, dude. And wow, man, that's crazy, dude. Do you ever, when you're going through this and somebody comes up to you with a product that's just like, whoa. I mean, now it's probably not like that. But in the beginning, when you had a product where you're like, I don't know, dude, what was your mindset? Were you just like, dude, I'm just gonna say yes and figure it out, or like what was that like?
Sometimes, yeah, I still get that way. Sometimes people will approach me with stuff, and I have to bite my tongue sometimes because they're so passionate. I don't want to deflate the balloon when they say, dude, I've got this really cool hat idea, and it's like, bro, there's so many hats out there, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was like kind of my question earlier was like, dude, how do you deal with that? Like that guy.
Yeah, but I have a hard time, so I just tell them straight up. I hope I don't offend them or hurt their feelings. But for the most part, people have good ideas.
Yeah.
And sometimes what I'll do is I'll partner with them if they have a cool enough idea, and I'll say, hey, let's go in on this with equity. Pay me a little bit so I can pay my team and whatnot. But
right.
I've got probably 5 companies right now that I'm actually partnered with. An urn company. We sell urns because I believe in it, and it's a really good product on Amazon.
Urns,
like for dead remains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah. That
I did see one time that you could buy a coffin on Amazon. I was like, what the
That's a great partnership opportunity. I gotta call him. So I partnered with him. I've got a gluten-free bread company that I'm now partners in. Actually,
is it good gluten-free bread?
It's very good, and I was very particular on that. They source all their products from Brazil.
Went to FitCon, saw that keto bread thing.
Was it good or bad?
No, it's terrible. Like, I'm not going to say the name
on it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the name, but I remember my wife bought some because she was trying to whatever, and I was like, bro, this tastes like booty. Mm-hmm. This is not good.
Yeah, no, this is good. We have cookies, we have English muffins, sourdough breads, all that stuff. And the best is because it's Brazilian owned. I'm a minority owner, but they've got those little cheese bites, those little cheese bread bites. You know, at Aubergine Bakery or whatever, they got the cheese inside. They do those, and actually we sell the Aubergine. We don't do those, but we sell their sourdough bread and stuff. But
wow, dude,
kind of fun stuff. But
so how do they? Do you ever just got to tell somebody like, dude, hats are like, there's a million of them. you got to think of something better.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. But I think because of my honesty, it allows people to recognize that I'm not in it just to like take the money. I'm in it because I truly care about the end game. Because I know eventually it's going to come out. So if I make that for you, eventually you're going to see that it didn't sell, and then you're going to be mad I didn't say something in the beginning. Yeah, well, I learned that, right? That's you learn it along the way because I didn't know that in the beginning, but I can identify them pretty well now.
Yeah, now you're like, I don't know about that.
Right. It's too saturated.
or if you like, or if you're gonna do hats, kind of like, well, because what I was doing was like my main thing is sunglasses. Like that's all I want to do. But you gotta, if I gotta add a hat, then we'll make it a big hat. Yeah, big guy hat.
Exactly. But that's the variable I think will work. If it's a big hat or big glasses, it's a whole different product because you're targeting an entirely different target audience.
Right.
I'm not. I'm saying the people I talk to, it's just a standard hat.
It's like I just want this hat. Yeah. You're like, okay.
And they want to put their branding on it, and they think because they have a different logo, it's going to sell. It's like, dude, no one even knows you. Why would they go buy that?
Why would they buy it? Yeah.
Anyone could do this.
Yeah.
Anyone could white label a hat.
Yeah.
But your idea is spot on. You've done your research. Big heads are something that people have a hard time finding that product for. That is a huge variable.
Yeah, well, we know our Polynesian brethren.
Yes.
And sisters.
Yes,
they're freaking great.
Them brethren.
Yeah, our brethren,
them
dude.
Cuz, yeah. No, I've got so many friends in the Polynesian community. In fact, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said. I actually told a guy one time, I was working with him, and he was like, I want to start like a online business. And he was Polynesian. And I was like, there's only one business I think you should start. And I've given this big sunglasses idea to like 8 people.
And they won't do it.
Like it's
probably because they don't have the connections. They don't know how to source it and manufacture it. Honestly, there's a lot of problems when you're doing that. The English-Chinese barrier, finding the appropriate factory. Can you trust them if you send them money? Like we've already nailed all that garbage down.
Right. Yeah, that is true. but I'm always like in my head, I'm like, dude, I never gatekeep. So when I posted on LinkedIn, when this kind of ideas are, I was like, I'm just gonna tell. If I don't do it, somebody better because I'll still.
I jumped on that so quick. It was within minutes. I was like, hey, dude, let's talk. I would love to help you out. Dude, that is a cool idea.
Because it was like, whoa, bro. Anyway, we're gonna have to do it. But it's so fun to see someone. And you know what's even cooler? I mean, I had this experience with you. Was like, I got this idea. I just don't know if I don't know, dude. I don't know. You're like, oh, bro, we got it. And I'm like, oh, dude, maybe we do have it, dude. Maybe we do.
Well, for any listeners on here that have big heads, you should just give out free product to them to leave reviews because that's crucial too. I mean, I don't know. Reviews are so hard to get. Oh my.
Yeah, let's talk about maybe the logistics of doing an e-commerce business. Like, what are some myths that you need to just leave at the front door, and what are some things that like are underrated, like reviews. Like I would have been like, oh, okay, reviews are like, I understand why, but I would not have focused on that at first.
No, that's crazy because there's 2 things that are so crucial: your cost of goods and reviews. If your cost of goods is too high, you will not ever be profitable.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. But before any of that happens, you got to have trust. And if you don't have trust online, no one's going to buy your product. So the reviews come in, right?
Yeah.
But Amazon makes it tough. They make it really hard. They used to make it easy, but now it's...
I think there were so many bots, right? There was that big lawsuit against Amazon. Like a lot of the reviews weren't even real.
Yeah. Right? SEC came out, I think, in December, just barely. And if you had fake reviews or anything like that, they were shutting you down. And now...
Whoa, dude.
Now, to get a review, there's like one way to do it. I mean, there's black hat and gray hat ways to do things. We don't mess with that stuff. Yeah. But... because AI, I mean, you just don't mess with it in general. It's your integrity. But yeah, I would say the myths. I don't really know if there's a myth. I think the biggest myth is that anyone can just go create something and be profitable online. It is hard right now.
Yeah.
So the research is what helps you. You got to be data driven. You can't go with just your emotion.
Yeah. So you got to really like dive in and be like, will this actually sell?
Yeah. Spend a little time on it. It's not that easy. Like spend a little time researching.
So if you don't have a product, like for me, for example, like I've done a lot of my research, but like, let's say me, I don't have a product right now. How would I go around and do some of the research just to see just to not get my feelings hurt? If I go to Kamden, I'm like, I got this idea, and Kamden goes, dude, that's butt cheeks. Bro.
And I do that sometimes.
How do you do the research if you don't have a product yet?
I like to do it for them because I have the right tools.
And
honestly, I will do it most of the time for free because I think if I can produce good results, then I get a customer out of it. If I don't, I still think I can get a customer out of it because they're going to pivot and want a different product done, right?
Yeah.
And so most of the time we do an audit or we do it for free just to help the person out. But if you have a starting spot, like I've had plenty of clients that come to me, hey, I want to do nootropics, right? I want to do lion's mane. Is that going to work? Shoot, boom, a whole new realm I didn't even think about. I stick my team on it. They work on it for 3-4 days. I get a whole document back and I send it off to the person and say, does this look good? They say, well, I don't know. Does it look good to you? And I go, yeah, it does. Or no, it doesn't because of cost of goods. It's too high. Or your shipping cost is going to be tough to negotiate, right? That kind of stuff. Or competition. There's 25
like,
sellers selling this on page 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And your cost of goods is $4. And you want to sell it for $9.99. You're never going to be profitable.
Ever.
So don't do that one. Yeah. Because they already have it, right?
Yeah.
I had a guy that sold socks. Same thing. He's like, I have a pack of 3. They're the best quality socks in the entire world. They're sourced from the best cotton plants, whatever, right?
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
That's great. You have good quality. The problem is you're going up against Fruit of the Loom. They spend $1 million a month in ads. You'll never, ever, ever beat their 12 pack for $6 ever. Yeah. You'll probably sell 1 or 2. I'm not going to say you're not going to sell any, but you're never going to be profitable.
Let's talk about a brand, dude, because like a brand makes a big difference. Yeah. But how much of a difference is like a solid? Because like, okay, I mean, when you're talking about socks, like I know actually a couple of guys who have sock companies that are actually really like Stance, for example.
Well, yeah, that's one of the ones that he would be competing with. Stance, Fruit of the Loom, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, okay.
Yeah. But they also took outside funding and they were able to cut their cost of goods. And they
dude.
And they were the first ones to hit the market with cool designs. Now everyone's copying them, right?
Right.
So there's variables there. But
yeah.
Anyway.
But a brand is, I mean, if you can make a good brand, but it's also like the uniqueness. It's kind of like balancing novelty and familiarity.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. While still being an affordable price.
Yeah.
That people will pay. Because Amazon is like the king place of, if you're under $40 on Amazon, it's an impulse buy or considered an impulse buy. For whatever reason, anything over about $40, people will not like buy it right away, and your conversion rates drop. I don't know why.
Dude, that's crazy.
And so what we try to do is we try to focus a lot of our products that we sell in that $15 to $35 range, because most of the time people are going to, it's so funny. You'll buy 3 products at $25 each, but you will question a $75 item. One of them. Is that not right?
Yeah, that's true.
How stupid is that?
Yeah, it took me forever to buy these sunglasses that don't fit me.
But you'll put 3 in your cart that are $22 each.
Yeah, dude, that's how Walmart gets you, bro.
That's exactly how
Walmart gets you, bro. So you're like, it's like $7. Throw it in there. Yeah. Oh, it's like, and then you got like 20 items later, and you're like, $150. Like, how the fuck that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we try to keep all of our products under there. And this is all part of our research, right? We try to play in that realm. We try to make sure we can get reviews. We try to make sure it's not too competitive. So these are all the psychological things that we play with.
That's crazy.
When you're using colors too, we can't even go into detail on there. Blues are really calming colors that you can use on your display pictures. But now we're getting into more of that, like psychological side.
And by the way, psychology is so important. Like it's so important. But my whole thing with philosophy is like, I wouldn't give like one of my favorite psychology books on sales, Robert Cialdini, Influence, right? Everybody loves that book, The Power of Influence. I would not give that to a first-time sales guy ever.
Because it's too deep.
It's too you're not ready. Like you're gonna hit 10K one month and 0 the next month and then quit, and that influence book did shit for you.
That's the same thing for me. Like my favorite book is Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
And then have you read that one?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Amazing book.
Yeah.
And then the second one is Cash Flow Quadrants. But if you don't have foundational knowledge of business in general, most of the things that he talks about go right over your head.
Well, and that's why I have such a problem with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, I've read it and it's a good book. It's not my favorite. Only because
that struck me. And not you, but the book. I was like, dude, this is putting my thoughts and heart into words.
Right.
Like I can act like this is what I feel, Robert.
Yeah. Well, and so here's the thing, and this is I talked about this on another podcast. I have no problem with the book. It's just my accounting side. It's accounting.
Oh, you're an accountant. I forgot about that.
It's the old battle between accounting and finance.
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like when someone says, it makes me cringe. It's just a cringe statement when somebody says, "Don't buy assets, buy liability," or like, "Don't buy liabilities, buy assets," and I'm like
don't buy a house, only buy something cash flowing.
Yeah, or like your house is your like someone.
Is your house a liability?
Is your house a liability? Shut the fuck up. How about if I took your house away? Is it a liability now?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It's a no. Like somebody goes, your car's a liability. Really? So if I took your car away right now, would you make more or less money? You'd make less money.
That's true.
Okay, so it's an asset.
That's true.
Yeah,
so then on those same lines, so let me challenge that then with employees. Do you think employees are assets or liabilities?
So listen, I come from an accounting standpoint.
Right.
Salaries payable.
So you think that they're assets?
Yeah, there's 2 lines on a balance sheet. There's Goodwill, which employees are responsible for.
Uh-huh.
And then there's salaries payable.
Which is not good. Yeah.
Okay. But you got to have employees, right?
Yeah,
I'm not ever, I don't think liabilities or assets are bad. Like, I don't think.
No, I know. I'm just intrigued on your side of it.
Yeah. I think employees are assets because they contribute to Goodwill.
Yep. And they contribute to the bottom line.
And they contribute they contribute to everything that makes the business run. But so like,
but there are downsides too. So,
but your house is like, your house is the physical house is an asset. The note that you're paying is a liability, right?
So you break it down even more. It's not just one big umbrella approach. You're looking at it line by line.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so like when you look at, because what's equity? It's what the house is worth versus what you owe on it, right? So a car, if you didn't, so one of my favorite things when I worked in car sales was when somebody wanted to trade in their car. And I would say it's 10 grand. And they're like, but I owe 13. And I go, and I'd go,
dang.
I go, oh, it's that. But I would pitch it like this. I would go, I would go, the what you owe on the car has nothing to do with its worth, right? If you owed 0, you wouldn't want 0 for it.
Oh, so they would approach you and think that you needed to pay what they owe.
Like pay it
like
off.
It's not my problem. You put a 96-month loan on here,
right?
Like,
but I also said it has nothing to do because if it was 0, you wouldn't want 0.
True.
You'd want what it's worth.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Like your car is
but sometimes even that goes right over some people's heads.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I go, okay, yeah, all right. But like, yeah, I go. So my only problem
because if that was always the
Go ahead.
But if that was always the case, then everyone would finance their car at 150 months, and then they'd come back and be like, "Yeah, well, I want market value." It's like, but you can't get market value because you haven't paid the interest.
Yeah, you haven't paid anything
that you signed up for. Yeah.
And I go, actually, most people are upside down on their cars, not because of the car itself. You know why a new car depreciates so much off the lot?
No idea.
Because 99% of people. It's a people thing, and then it's a manufacturer thing. So 99% of people finance the taxes and interest.
Ah. They don't pay cash for it.
They don't. Yeah. So like that has nothing to do with the car.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
So that tax on.
Yeah. So like if you're $2,000 upside down, well, actually, funny enough, that $2,000 that you're upside down was the taxes that you rolled into the loan.
Oh.
There's nothing I can do about that, bro. Right?
I'm guilty of that. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But I haven't cared.
But it doesn't matter, right? Because there's also something called an unrealized loss. Which is like I lose money. You go. I'm losing money on this car. No, you're only losing money if you sell it.
Okay.
You only lost the money if you keep it for 10 years. You didn't lose shit.
Yeah, you're fine. You just paid the bank a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might have made a dumb move, but you didn't. And then there's the other part, which is like Dodge, right? So Dodge will say a truck. The Ram is, there's a new Ram is 24 grand, and then next month they're going to come out with the 2024, and that 2023 Ram is going to get 10K off, and that just killed you.
Yep.
So a manufacturer can force depreciation. With big incentives like that too. That's why Honda and Toyota. When was the last time you saw a Toyota $10,000 off? Never, and you never will. And that's why Toyota sold their value so well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, it killed me in December because I have a Tesla. It killed me when Elon launched that deal when he was like, anyone that wants to buy a Y or a 3 right now, we're gonna take $7,500 off and give you tax credits, all this stuff, right?
Right.
My value dropped $10,000 overnight.
Yeah, overnight. Yeah, because he did.
I had no idea he was going to do that, right?
Yeah, and here's what even scarier. So like one thing that Honda doesn't do, like you've never seen a Honda at a rental car company.
That's true. They're always Nissans or Kias
or Toyotas.
Yeah, or Toyotas, yeah.
Because they don't. Because here's why. Because if Enterprise buys 200 Corollas in 2019, they're going to use them for 3 years. And then in 2030,
they know they can sell them for really good value still.
Yeah. In 2022, they're going to dump 200 pre-owned Corollas on the market for nothing.
Yeah, and they're still going to make pretty good value.
And Enterprise is going to make money. But if you go sell your used Toyota now Enterprise just dictated the whole market for used Corollas.
Because they just saturated it with their own pricing. Because
they don't give a
because
they don't give a fuck what they sell.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
They need to make $1,000. So if they owe 8 and they sell it for 9, that they only need 1,000. They're a corporation. They don't give a shit. You can't sell it for 13 now though because I would just buy it.
Power of monopolies,
dude, and the power of just like yeah. But most people don't understand, and that's why I get so frustrated with just real estate bros. Not there's money in real estate, just the bros in real estate, right? Like is like, oh, we can do all this stuff, and I'm like, actually, depreciation is one of the most tax beneficial things you can do in your business.
Which I need to learn more. I don't know, like the sheltering and the depreciation, all that stuff. I need to learn that way better.
Yeah, a depreciation
or hire
is
someone that knows it.
Right. Well, depreciation is a non-monetary deduction. So like typically in LLC, you have to spend money to get a deduction.
Sure. Yep.
Right. But if you use depreciation,
it's like you spent.
You buy a $90,000 car, right?
Sure. Depreciation on his
You can
$10,000
do,
or
you can do it
20,000.
straight line for 5 years. And then in that second year, you didn't spend any money and you still got the write-off.
Okay.
Right. So you have to spend money, but you can forward depreciation. You can actually, in some cases, take all the depreciation in year one, which is why somebody would tell you to buy like a car in December.
I was literally told that. So I bought
Yeah.
a Plaid in December, like the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Because of depreciation. But
Because your account,
my accountant just told me to do it, and I was
yeah,
like, okay, sounds
because
good.
he section 179 did.
Okay.
It
I
probably
don't know.
weighed
I
over.
pay
It
him.
probably weighed over so much.
It does. It's over 8,000 pounds or something, or
Yep.
whatever.
Boom.
that is.
That's
Yeah.
all you need.
Okay.
So he
literally told me, he was like, these are all the cars you need to go buy. I was like, okay, cool. So I sold my other one and bought that.
and he was like, great. And he took a section 179 deduction and.
No idea. Taxes were great this year, though. That's all I know.
Yeah. But so what they might do sometimes then is they might say, go buy that Plaid. And I don't know exactly what your accountant did, but he probably did one of two things. He either section 179 and took all the money, or he did a makers where it was 120 grand and maybe he took 110 year one. And then in year two, he's going to take
That's
that
what
five.
That's what he did. Yeah. He did that because he told me,
Yeah, he's not going to take it all. Yeah, so he did a makers. But then in year two, that's a non-monetary. So you didn't have to spend any money to get a deduction, which is...
But then I'm going to sell that car anyway and go get another one.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and then you can keep doing it.
Okay, now I get what he's doing. This is why, as an entrepreneur, you stay in your lane. You just stay. Seriously, I know what I'm good at, and if I'm not good at it, I hire it out. So.
But so back to I don't ever knock that book. I mean, I don't like it.
You knocked it pretty hard there.
But if it changes somebody's mind and helps them become an entrepreneur, then fine. I just don't like the whole idea of like, to get your first real estate company, you just need to go get 10 credit cards and cash them all out, and then
he didn't say that in that book.
Not that one, but some people.
I was
reference.
like, no.
I've read the book.
Yeah.
I just I go, oh god damn it.
No. I hate that too. No.
Credit card stacking.
No.
Dude, just like
because then that's
real estate the right way.
Yeah, because if you're not good at managing money, that is a
that's the problem.
Dangerous area, and most people aren't good at managing
That's
money.
what I'm saying.
No.
I go, dude. I'm like, why? You know what? If you want to learn about finance, and here's the other thing though. To Robert Kiyosaki and that book's credit, there's a different, because I'm not in the Dave Ramsey camp either. There is a difference between personal finance and business finance.
There's
a big difference.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody should go into crazy amounts of personal debt, but a business is different. You can when they talk about
leverage stuff.
Yeah, you can leverage debt in business, and this is where I got a little, and not mad at Robert because he did a great job writing the book. Mad at the people who were like, oh, well, I'll just go get a credit card on my personal name and go blow a bunch of stuff, and then get pissed at people with like it was for my business. No, it wasn't. It was in your personal name, you dumbass.
Yes, yeah.
Amex is coming after you for all of it, dog.
Yep.
Not your business. You can't Like, did you see the Tinder swindler?
No.
Did you see that Netflix documentary?
No.
Gave me anxiety. But this guy manipulated a bunch of girls into getting like hundreds of thousands of credit card debt and then giving it to him or whatever. It's a long story. Great show though. But anyway, so these girls were literally scammed into like hundreds of thousands of dollars with Amex, right? Like legitimately.
Their name was on it.
Yeah.
And then
the guy was proven guilty.
And he was using their credit.
He was using their card and stuff. They would go get this and give it to him, and he was found guilty of all of it, right? Fraud.
Yeah.
And Amex still was like, Amex still went after the girls and said, you still have to pay me. We don't care. Give us the money.
Holy.
Dude, so credit card companies are just vicious, bro. And so I'm always like, dude, if you're going to do that, you need to get business debt, not personal debt. Yeah. You need to be not guaranteed.
Then you're not liable. Yeah. You're not the guarantor. And
right.
Stuff,
and I go,
right?
but they don't read that part. They skip the last chapter of Robert's book.
And that's one thing on that same line. I mean, this is the thinking podcast, right? But one thing that most entrepreneurs don't think about is their credit card stuff. I literally had lunch with the nicest girl yesterday, 2 days ago. She's got her own business, and I'm just asking her standard questions just because I'm interested. And I like to keep like a pie chart in my head of like who I talk to and like what the statistics are of who's actually thought through certain things and who hasn't. I'm like, so how do you pay for stuff? She's like, oh, I just pay with my debit card. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I just pay my debit card, or I just pay cash or Venmo or something. I'm like, holy hell. And for those of you that are listening that aren't picking up what I'm saying, it is easy, free money to just sign up a freaking credit card with cash back, or that gave you points for travel, or whatever. Just use that. Stop using cash or debit. You are wasting so much opportunity.
Not only that, but I like credit cards because of the liability.
Yeah, it's not on you immediately, money, and it doesn't pull immediately. So you have the choice not to. I don't do
you
this.
Can take time.
You can take time if you want to pay it back. I don't. As soon as it posts, I pay it off like a debit. But if you need to for some reason, if you need to cash flow something else, or there's something else and you don't want to pay that $3,000 bill, just hold off.
Or just fraud. Like if somebody steals your debit card, that's your cash. That's
and
gone.
It's gone right out of your account.
At
least it's a barrier.
And most of the time you get it back, but it takes days. So if somebody takes 10 G's out of your savings, you're out for a week at least. If the credit union decides to give it back, right?
At least
on
it's
a credit card,
to
on a credit card, it's not right out of my account. I can dispute it. I can take some time. It wasn't my money.
Yep.
And so That's why
I've had that happen. Yeah, I have. It happens. It just does. Especially when you grow and you have more employees. You have your employees using your card. You have stuff going on. It will happen. It will leak on a website, and I've had to change my card once. But it's fine. It was only for a couple $100.
But then you just call up the credit card company. It was fraud.
Yep.
They go, okay, cool, we'll take care of it, sir.
And the worst part is you have to go back through and you have to resubmit your card on every single auto pay, whatever you got.
God damn it.
Which, there you go, listeners, come out with a software that does that automatically. That'd be great. That you could just,
for real.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
So for the people that have to do a new credit card, it just automatically goes and puts it on all the other sites.
It's tied to an account, not a number.
Dude.
There you go. $1 million ideas, baby.
If anyone wants, hit me up. I'll help you on the marketing.
That's right, dude. But no, that's cool. And I'm because I'm an accountant. And it's the classic battle between finance and accounting, and it's just definitions. And so that's why I always get a little frustrated with because I argued with a kid. I only argue with people who I know they don't know what they're saying. Like, he's like, is your car's a liability unless you rent it on Turo? Fuck you. No, it's not, dude. What's the definition of a liability? Outflowing of assets.
So you went to school for this. You went to school for all of it. So you're very passionate.
God damn you guys. Well, because I believe in I believe like Joe Rogan or some of these guys who are like the best combat for misinformation is correct information. So that's all I try. I don't get mad. I don't think anybody should be banned, but I'm gonna roast you online if you say something stupid.
Yeah. Don't be sensitive about it.
Yeah. But everybody tries to argue, but I'm like, God damn you. Are you in real estate?
I was. The current president got put in office, and then I decided to sell because I just saw maybe the economy would change, and it did.
It did.
So as it
rates
changed,
are through the roof.
Yep, but when I sold, it wasn't. So I did good. We made out positive, very good. So I want to get back into it again. I'm not very good at, like I said, the depreciation and the real estate world and all that. But I know it's a standard that everyone should do. I had a duplex, sold it. I want to get back into it again. Mm-hmm. And I want to start learning how to leverage your equity and throwing that into the next property. I know that's what people do. I haven't had time. I've got other. I'm so invested in products right now and opportunities and businesses that are all hockey sticking. They're about to start being very, very profitable. They're just profitable right now. So I just haven't had time.
Well, and that's the other thing that the real estate bros I get frustrated with. I'm like, businesses like e-commerce, the returns on real estate and the returns on e-commerce, returns on e-commerce are a little bit better.
Yeah, the
returns on businesses are better than real estate.
And I'll tell you this, I'm glad you brought that up. The reason why I shifted, I took the proceeds that I made from that house and I put it into this venture, right? Very early on. I've bootstrapped the whole thing. I'm the sole owner of the whole thing. But the reason I jumped into e-commerce was mainly this. If you have a rental property, you get equity, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say it's a good market. You have equity. You have rent coming in from your renter, right? That's it. E-commerce, you have your business that can build equity and value. Let's say value if it's profitable.
Yeah,
right?
it can build.
So there's your equity if we're comparing both.
Yeah.
Number two, you can have your monthly income coming in from selling those products. But the third variable that's cool about e-commerce is you can add new product lines that make you more money.
Right.
You can't add more tenants to your house after they've signed an agreement and they're already in the 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Right. They're set at $1,500 a month and they're paying that for a year.
Yeah, or even the short-term rentals that are making a little bit, but
those are hard though because you'll max out at some point.
For sure. Unless you buy more houses,
or you buy more houses, but that's but then it goes back to the other side. You just buy more businesses, and you could scale that even bigger. Now, someone would say, "Yeah, but what about the competition? There's still competition on the rental market. There's competition on other homes. There's competition if you're renting in Park City, Utah, as opposed to San Diego, California."
I'm of the camp that I'm a business guy. I actually like doing what they do with real. You can do what they do in real estate with businesses too. That's the crazy thing. You can buy a business that's struggling, plug in a few marketing things.
I'm doing that
and then
now.
sell it right.
I'm literally doing that right now.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the Earn company.
And by the way, I don't have to do all that stupid flip shit.
Yes.
That's fix and flip.
No,
that,
you don't have
dude.
to go in there. You don't have to worry about permits and all that stuff. No, you just go in and you say, "Hey, I'm going to buy you for $250,000." And what we're going to do is we're going to dump a little bit because I've already done my research on this. I've already done my audit.
And you already
their
know.
PPC's terrible, paid pay per click.
Yeah,
their optimization of their listings is kind of garbage.
Their website's trash,
and they don't even have a color black. Right, black I know is foundational. Like in the Earn community, why wouldn't you have black and white? It's so clean, and a lot of people want that. Their biggest seller is blue. I'm like, they haven't even launched black yet, and I know my research says black would be the best.
Yeah.
They haven't sold little
so
mini
you're like,
ones.
So you're like, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it for this.
Make you happy.
Make you happy. I'll pay you off.
You can put
seller
exit
financing
on your thing.
Yep. Yeah, for on LinkedIn.
You can put Exeter on LinkedIn.
But on but on the other side, like I can do seller financing too, which I could pay them a chunk up front and slowly
you can
pay
do
back
creative
based
financing on businesses too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so cool. And I just found this new website too called Buy Biz Sell. Buy Biz Sell Buy.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear and know
Oh,
about
really?
That. Are you? I know. Are you?
Dude, yeah, that's an
You're
old
looking at me
school
like,
website.
are you kidding me?
You introduced me to Flippa, and I was like, Flippa, what the fuck?
Flippa and Empire Flipper.
And Empire, I was like, what the fuck? I just go to Biz Buy Sell or like Acquire.
Had no Acquire. So there's another one.
Oh, that's for SaaS.
I am so deep in this community, I have never even heard of it.
Acquire is like a SaaS one. So
but it's the same thing. You can buy
a SaaS company.
Tech companies.
Yeah, tech company.
Huh.
And sometimes, dude, there's these little guys over, overseas in India.
Yeah, they're cool to just build a foundation and
they'll
flip
build
it or sell it.
They'll build it, sell it for 10, and then let you do it. They're like, it needs a sales process.
I like that.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So
Like,
I'm talking to two people right now from Buy Biz Sell that they've done all the foundational hard work, which I can do, but I would rather pay money to save time rather save time and the money on the opposite side. But anyway.
Dude, yeah,
cool
it's crazy, bro. And there's just, you can do everything that you can do in real estate in a business. You can fix and flip a business and make more.
The best part about it is the capital gains and 1031 exchange on the real estate side. You don't have to worry about that with the business. Obviously, you've got your money that you made in profits, but you can turn that right back around.
Listen. The whole oh my god.
And there's so many things that you can write off. Like
you can write off.
I
You can
ton of
depreciate it.
products.
You can
depreciate a business. But that's what I don't know if that overlaps like on real estate. Does it? Is it the same thing? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
See, I didn't know
you
that.
can write off. You can write. I mean, the same things that you can write off on real estate, you can write off on a business. And look, yeah, there's some there. You don't have to pay taxes, but here's the thing. This is where they go like this. They go, I owed $100,000 on that house. I sold it for $1 million. That $900,000 I didn't pay any taxes on, and I got it. No, you didn't. You put it right into the next house. None of that hits your bank account because the second that it hits your bank account, the IRS knows and they want their money. Mm-hmm. You didn't get anything from. If you took that and put it in your bank account, if you put $500,000 into the house and $400,000 in your pocket, they're going to tax that $400,000.
$400,000. Yep.
There's
unless you lived in it for 2 of the last 5 years, but yeah.
And you were married, filing jointly, and yeah, there's ways to avoid. Yeah, sure. I mean, but like you're going to pay taxes. Like people are like, I don't pay taxes on my real estate. That just means you're low on cash.
Yeah.
And you're rich, but that rental income is taxed.
Or there's other ways around it. We won't talk about it here, but you can set it up in a trust and
you can do it. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that you can do like that, but that's what people don't say. They just like, oh, I sold it and didn't pay any taxes on it. Tax man didn't come and get me. You also don't have $900,000 in the bank.
Yeah. So don't worry. Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it.
I wouldn't be worried.
It's all paper money. Yeah. Like it's all paper money. And I'm cool with it. Like go get your paper, dog.
Right.
Like you bought a cool 10 units and that's going to give you $30,000 a month. You're paying taxes on $30K.
Right.
Or whatever's net after that. I'm like, that's why I get so frustrated because they don't tell the whole story.
No, they don't.
Kamden.
Well, it's like
that's why I get pissed.
School doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, I do too.
Which I have a degree, but I don't believe in it. I think seriously.
I have 2 and I'm pissed.
Yeah, same with my wife. She has 2.
I have 2 and I'm mad, dude.
I know. And the money you have to spend to go there to get a degree that no one even cares about anymore. It's all about just your skills.
I got my MBA because it was a childhood dream of mine. But it was fine. I actually paid it off. I don't, so I just wanted it. It's like I always wanted it. And then as soon as I get accepted, there's an article come out in the Wall Street Journal. Are MBAs even worth it anymore? I'm like, fuck, damn it. I'm like, I'm already in, dude.
They knew you were graduating.
Yeah, they knew, dude. I was like, damn you.
Let's piss off Dalton.
Yeah, dude. But I think I had a funny joke about that because somebody was like, they don't teach you any taxes in school. I was like, bro, I remember when I was in high school, I would have skipped tax class.
Yeah, no one's interested in that.
nah.
Well, that's the problem is the stuff you need when you grow up, your brain isn't in the mindset to learn it or give a shit about it. Like,
Dude,
it doesn't
I
care.
read my-
all you care about
yeah.
is your ego and girls and like, or whatever, right? Like sports.
Dude, when I
Cars.
was taking all of my exams for, my accounting degree and my MBA, I have an MBA in finance, those books suck, dude. They suck so bad.
And they're old. It's old material too.
Well, yeah, finance will never change. Like the principles of accounting
Sure.
don't ever change. So like, yeah, it's a 10-year-old book. They're talking about
EBITDA.
when Dell's a brand new company. You're like, okay, all right. But the principles are the same, right? You're like, okay. But yeah, dude, they're crazy, man. The books are so boring and it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, when you get into finance, yeah, you get like EBITDA. There's so many lines that you're just like, oh,
That's one thing I want to
Jesus.
get into is like the actual investing world eventually, and
Yeah,
like
like-
understand that, because I hear that
Yeah.
thrown around all the time, like the cap table and EBITDA, and like I'm like I get
Yeah.
it, I understand.
You know what the acronym
but
stands for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't understand why it's so important to some of these people. Where to
Oh, yeah.
me, I look at it and I'm like, yes, that's important, but I care heavily about the culture and the structure and the operations and the processes. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't have that, who
Well-
cares what their numbers are? They're not going to function very well if the culture is
Right.
terrible. You know,
Right.
oh, what's your your churn rate? Oh, wow, that's not very good. Who cares what your profitability is?
Yeah. Well, the reason EBITDA is so important is because this is a real quick answer to your question.
Please.
It's non-monetary. So earnings before interest. So like interest has nothing to do with the business. Taxes has nothing to do. Like those are things that aren't you're in like the business's control. Like those are paid after everything else. Earnings before interest, taxes, amortization, depreciation.
So I guess I was mixing those, thinking, you're not going to make money to pay taxes if your processes suck and your culture is terrible.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You're worried. Yeah.
I'm more worried about that other.
Well, and that's what EBITDA is. It's top line stuff. So if the process isn't right, it's going to
it's going
affect
to reflect
earnings
that
before
down there.
all that stuff.
Okay. Then I'm right on track. Then I was just
Yeah. Because you can say earnings before EBITDA is 100K, net is 50, right? But that bottom piece, that amortization, all that stuff, is very dependent on that top line,
The stuff we
that
discussed.
earnings before.
Oh,
right?
yeah, the earnings before.
The
Yes,
process,
the processes and all that stuff.
the
Yeah.
cost of
Okay.
goods.
So then I've understood it. I just didn't do good in that class. But I usually, like I said, I stay
Yeah.
in my lane. If I don't know
Yeah.
something, I try to lean on other people or pay them to
Yeah.
do it.
So they go an ecom business is the multiple of an ecom business would be like what 2 to 4x
Yeah.
EBITDA,
Yeah.
right? Because amortization is non-money, depreciation is non-money, interest and taxes, you pay those no matter what, and it depends on your earnings before all of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That thinking podcast. Let's go. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I went. So you go you look at it, and software companies are big X right now. They're like 3 to
15,
6.
8,
Yeah,
well,
we
they
were
were
10.
15 to 18,
Yeah,
but now
dude,
that's coming down.
And you're like, God, well, dude, you can be.
But I think it's because there was scalability. That was the biggest reason it was so high, is because you could have 6 employees
Right,
and have
right.
a $50 million company.
right.
And that's
Yeah,
why
you're
you would
like,
pay that. Yeah.
Jesus.
Because all you got to do is add one more developer and it blows your market up double, right?
Yeah,
Or
exactly. Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And so anyway, no, EBITDA's fine, or like all those guys are just wild. So yeah, I mean,
Do you have pointers for someone that's wanting to learn more investment strategy or understand how to learn how to invest properly, like as a beginner?
invest in like what, businesses? Or?
Yeah, like
okay,
other like I
because
want
stocks are different.
No. I don't
Okay,
believe in the
okay.
stock market at all.
Yeah.
But like actual like product companies or tech
Like you
companies.
look
or-
at a company
I
and you're
look
like-
at something and I'm like, yeah, let me look at this. Let me evaluate it. Do you have a place to turn to learn the top 10 things that I need to know if I'm looking into it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think-
EBITDA's huge. You need to
Right,
also
you need to
know
look at-
who's
yeah.
the CEO and what's his background. What's
Yeah.
Because to
dude,
me,
yeah.
I immediately go into the actual structure and the body of the company if I'm going
Right.
to invest, which I've invested in companies. And
Yeah.
that's what I've looked at. I of course, I see
I
their
go-
net
I go-
profits and things like that. But,
Yeah, so I talked to the CEO or the COO of Blip one time.
oh, that's big.
Yeah, and he said he does companies 3 ways, and I loved it. He said people, like who are the people, and then he said people, money, and then process. or like product, market, process, all that stuff. Because the people,
That's how I see it.
yeah. It's really simple. It's not.
Yeah.
It's actually not crazy. So you go like, are the people good? Like, is this company? Are they doing and saying the things that are actually happening?
Yeah.
Because like I know people are always like, numbers don't lie. Fuck you. They sure do. Do you know in a big company and like a public company, there's 4 sets of books.
No,
There's financial books. There's tax books. There's managerial books, and then there's shareholder books. So, you know why Amazon? Everybody was pissed at Amazon a while ago. Like they didn't pay zero in they paid zero in taxes, right? That's because their tax books showed that they were zero. Their financial books, though, showed that they made billions of dollars. But what they gave to the IRS and what they showed their shareholders were not the same thing. They're different.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're different. So they've got different books because where you put certain expenses on your financial books
It's not going to be
are
the
not
exact
the
same
same
as
on your
marketing
tax
or
book.
on your tax book.
Yeah,
or whatever
on your
it may
tax
be.
books.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put it in my tax books where it's advantageous.
Mm-hmm.
The tax code was written so that the tax code was written in a way that I don't have to pay more than I should.
If you know your stuff.
If you know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So your financial books, though, I could make $1 million on my financial books, but I'm going to send the IRS that I lost $100K. And they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a big generality. Like it probably isn't that big, but but that's why everybody, Amazon paid zero in taxes. Well, that's because you let them. Like they didn't. They made
they're
more
smart,
money.
And
Yeah,
they're smart, and they knew how to allocate that and how to show it.
They've got forward you can roll depreciation forward. You can roll your tax burden. So they might have not paid zero,
But next year or the year after that,
they might pay a lot, or they might have prepaid. You can do that. You can be like, no, we paid too much.
We had a ton this year, so we're gonna prepay just because we want to hold out. Just in case something happens,
So when people are like numbers lie, or numbers don't lie, I go, yeah, well, they might not lie, but I can sure make it look like they. That's why Enron got away with what they did for so long. That's why we have Sarbanes-Oxley and all that stuff because. So I look at like I would go to the people first and be like, am I going to buy this business? Like, were they actually good people running it? And then I would go look at their books. But I would look at I would want bank statements. I would want their accounting books, but I would want like audited financials
from a third party.
From a third party audit, yeah. And you can get that you don't have to go to the big four.
Yeah, but that's standard, right?
But I would also look at it and I would go like interview employees and be like, hey, so what the.
Do you like it here? How's your boss? What's the structure look like?
Yeah. I would go interview customers. And be like, what do you like about it? What do you don't like about it?
You don't think that's overstepping if you're investing in a company? It's not like you don't look like.
I mean, it depends on how much. Like, if I'm going to invest 500, like I got a buddy of mine who.
Of course, there's a dollar amount that you're like, yeah.
But if I'm going to buy a company, hell yeah, dude. And that's due diligence.
And you better show it,
and because if you don't, you can be held liable for not disclosing that in.
Interesting.
In due
diligence. I want to surround
myself
myself with more investors because I feel like I learn better when I see it and I'm with people that do it.
Yeah, I have only done it on a really small scale. Like I know, like if somebody was like, "Hey, could you come look at this?" I'd know my way around okay, but I've never done it at a big scale.
Yeah.
So I'm not the guy, but I also, if I went and watched somebody, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're doing." Yeah. Because there's also, you want to know what's really funny, even worse?
Yeah.
Finance is valuation. Like when you're going to value a company, like what dollar amount are we going to put on this thing? There's like 5 ways to do it. And it's we're just going to pick the one that gives us the best one.
The best one.
Yeah. And you negotiate on which valuation you're going to use. Like, are you going to use discounted cash flow, like DCF?
Yeah.
You're going to use discounted cash flow? No, that says my business only worth $100K. I'm going to use this other one. And I'm going to go, that makes my business look like $50K. So then what are you and I going to do? We're going to be somewhere in the middle. So that valuation was bullshit.
I didn't even know that. Holy.
Yeah.
So that's why you can have one that'll come in at 1.1 billion and another that comes in at 750 million.
Yeah, because they're doing it. And they might be the same company and just being like, all right, well, if we're gonna discount this cash flow.
It is the same company.
Yeah, if we're gonna discount
the company I'm thinking of right now, you know it, and I'm not even gonna say it.
Right.
But that's what happened, and everyone's speculating like the value and why it was so high, and then it came back later, like 4 months later, and it was like seriously,
yeah,
a quarter of $1 billion less.
Their cash flow, the multiples, they could have been using a whole different valuation process, but that's why. I mean, when you look at a term sheet, when you're going to get investment in a term sheet, everything's negotiable. My valuation's not that. I think my valuation's 60. It's like you said it's 100. I say it's 500. How about we meet in the middle of 200? That'll make my post money valuation 250.
So it's all just negotiable with the investor.
Everything is negotiable. Wow. Everything on that. A term sheet is not anything except for a term sheet is this is where we're going to start.
Like a foundation to play with.
Yeah, this is nothing. Everything on it is negotiable. A term sheet means nothing.
I learned so much when I come talk to you. It's insane. And especially on the financial side, because I'm not good on that side.
Yeah.
Like I'm good with money, but I don't know these terms.
Yeah.
But I want to.
Well,
But everything I've done is been at a low enough amount of money that I've invested that I feel fine if I lost it all, right?
and that's
And that's how
a
I
great
feel
place
like
to
you
be.
should
You
approach
should,
it that way.
Yeah.
But if it does take off, great. Like things are going to be good. But
Yeah.
I want to get into the bigger ones, like the million to 10
Yeah.
million,
And those
like that
ones,
kind of stuff.
dude, yeah,
But they're not treated the same way.
Their due
clearly.
diligence is
way
big, and you bet your ass I'm gonna interview customers. I'm gonna interview employees. I want to see like 12 months of bank statements. I'm gonna give them to my attorney. Like we're gonna look at this. I want to see your projected cash flows. Like you know
your contracts you have.
yeah, I
want to
see that, right? Yeah, I want to see like a lot of projections because. Yeah, your history is fine, but like, why are you selling it? Like, did you lose 12 clients, your biggest clients, and now I'm fucked if I buy,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I've never dealt in like $1 million ones, but I know the basics of it. But yeah, dude, it's wild. Because investing in businesses is, I would rather invest in a business than invest in a real estate deal.
Right now,
personally.
absolutely, I would too.
Like for example, like Kizik's would never offer me anything because I who am I? But like if I had like $1 million mansion in Park City or Kizik's, I would take Kizik's. Even if
of course.
Yeah, well, but why would we say it like that? Like, oh yeah, of course.
Well, it goes
but like
back to
some
what
people would be like, what the fuck?
No, but it's because it goes back to what we were talking about. There's
Yeah.
so much more opportunity to scale and grow on a product brand
Yeah.
than that house. That house is indicative of the market. If the market
Right.
goes up, it goes up, what, 10, 20, 30%?
Yeah. And you don't
But
have
these
much to
product
do with
sales, yeah, you don't. You have nothing to do with it. The people up in Washington are the ones that dictate all that stuff. They're
Right.
They're all
Dude,
corrupt.
yeah, you have to deal with rates, you have to do all this. But Kizik's, dude,
One company could get a hold of it. Nike could come in, which they are, and they could come and they could license the material, and your rate or whatever your equity is in the company could 10
your Goodwill
times or
just went
100x.
up. Yeah. Dude, yeah, and like Goodwill is
Contrary, it could go down, but
Well, I was just about to mention this. Like in
But you could write it off.
in a house thing, in a housing market, appreciation. In a business, it's called Goodwill, and Goodwill is really hard to lose in a business, right? Because that's your branding. Like unless you're Bud Light. Shout out to Bud Light,
I love Bud
who
Light.
lost $29 billion of Goodwill. Literally,
that was what it was. 30 million.
no,
Billion.
billion.
I haven't
Stock
followed it. I
valuation.
just have seen the memes. I'm not like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
when I
yeah.
tell you I'm busy, I literally don't get on my phone.
Right,
I don't
dude.
see memes. I don't like it's occasional.
I'm not. I don't do politics. All I know is this, bro. One of the reasons people don't like the kind of the corporatism that's going on right now is what we're about to see with Bud Light. Bud Light's about to be sued by their shareholders because people don't understand when you're a public company, you have a fiduciary responsibility
Yeah.
to make money.
Yep.
Like a legal.
You are there to make money for the shareholders.
Your
Yes.
obligation. You're legally obligated. You have a fiduciary responsibility to make money, and all their shareholders are going to come right for those guys and be like, "Look, politics aside, you lost $29 billion in your stock valuation
because
and
of,
we're coming after
and I
all
don't
of
even
it."
remember. I don't even know.
I don't want to get into it, but it's
Did
just
so-
like
did someone post something that-
no,
no?
it was a whole LGBTQ thing. It
Oh,
was a
okay,
whole
okay.
yeah, it was that
Okay.
whole thing.
Trans rights and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't.
I
all
had
I'm
no.
saying-
I truly had no idea.
yeah.
You don't have to go into it, but I had no idea what it was. I just saw that it went.
And the only reason I
viral.
don't want to get into it is not because I'm afraid of getting canceled or afraid to share my thoughts. I just don't care. All I find fascinating is the accounting side and the finance side because I'm a geek like that.
That's insane.
And you're
one
it's
comment
just crazy,
and
dude.
all of that went down.
And they just go crazy, and then they double down on it, and you're like, you.
Oh, so it
like
wasn't just once, it
No,
was
dude,
two
they
times.
did it a few times, and I was like, look, I don't care. Like if you're the thing is like you have to know your market and your business.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if a company's LGBTQ.
No, it doesn't
Who
matter.
gives a shit?
No,
yeah, go
it-
sell. That's your market. But if that's your brand, right? That's your
Sure.
brand. Go for it, dude. But like that wasn't Bud Light's brand. 29B, 29Bs.
I didn't
bro.
know that. Wow.
Unreal. And so now they're getting sued by I don't know if they're actively getting sued, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next week or two we didn't see on the Wall Street Journal that the shareholders of Bud Light are coming after all of it.
Wow. Seriously, dude, I learned so much from you.
and like that would bankrupt. Have you ever seen a public company like that go bankrupt in 12? I'm not gonna.
It hasn't happened very often.
It might, dude. With Bud Light, they might
Really?
end up dude, Anheuser-Busch, fuck, dude. And it's just a business thing. Like it's just
it's all about money.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
all
money,
it is,
dude.
yeah.
It's just unfortunately, it's nuts, dude. But when you're looking at like, I don't know why your finance and your CFO and your general counsel should have been up in that boardroom, like, dude.
Or
because we have
or
people,
they were, and people were telling them to stop talking or something.
But we have people who, you know, like everybody felt bad when, who was that big guy? Who I can't even remember his name, dude.
Big
the guy
that
who
doesn't narrow it down.
the guy who stole a bunch of money on Wall Street with stocks. It was a big Ponzi scheme. When you hear Ponzi scheme, you think of the name.
Dude,
My ADHD's tripping right now.
Wolf on Wall Street guy?
No. As soon as you hear his name, you'll be like, oh shit, how did I not? They just did a documentary on that guy. But anyway, big Ponzi scheme guy who was like taking money in the stock market and manipulating it and stuff. You're like, oh, that was real people's money. That was so sad. Like, dude, real people invested in Bud Light with real money.
Yeah, it's the same
family
thing.
money.
It's the same thing.
And
someone else
just
made a decision and then screwed all those people's money.
Screwed everybody
it's the same
up,
thing.
dude. Yeah, it's the same thing. And so that's why to me, I don't care
Regardless
about
of
the
the topic.
politics.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It's not about the
Regardless of the
politics for
topic.
me. It's about you guys did something.
They could have done
didn't.
something tragic and murdered someone, or they could have dropped a bomb.
And we'd still be having the same conversation.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
We'd have the same conversation of
I get you.
like you guys fucked up. You took real people's money. You took a legacy brand
that you should have just treated it how you should have always treated it. It's a beer brand.
How about capitalism, bro? How about go make a offshoot beer brand that you want to market to LGBTQ? Everybody would have been like, all right, cool, dude. Because Anheuser-Busch has so many brands. It's like Nestle or something like that, dude. Like they have brands for the frat guys, and they have brands for
the daily consumer, family consumer,
and they have brands for the kids, and they have brands for these guys, dude, go do that. I don't know what happened, bro. But these anyway. But like also like when you're valuing a company, you're like, what are you doing, dude? Is this what your brand is, or is this? I think Goodwill is probably one of the most important things that I would look at if I was valuing somebody. It's a non-cash one, but I would look at that pretty heavy.
Interesting.
But anyway, Kamden,
dude.
What up, dog? Thank you.
No, this is good. This has been so good.
I know, I love it, bro.
I freaking love talking with you, dude. Thank you so much for having me.
No, dude, thanks for being on.
Hanging out.